Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Saguaro Valley. In this episode, I will be demolishing half of my city layout in order to make way for a new airport. And if you notice anything new right now, it's hopefully my audio quality, because your boy got a new microphone. And if this doesn't sound any different from before, then that means I've made a poor financial decision. But anyways, basically right now you can see me demolishing a bunch of roads, a bunch of freeways, and that mall that I built in like episode 3 or 4, I don't really remember, but I never liked that mall, so I was like, you know what, it's gone, I'm gonna build something better there. And yeah, right now you can see me demolishing these freeways, which I was kind of sad about because that exit that you see right there, that was a bit detailed. I was actually really proud of it, so I was sad to see it go, but it's going to get rebuilt, and it'll be looking way better than it was. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. And if it wasn't obvious before, I'm going to be basically rebuilding Phoenix Sky Harbor, but at a much smaller scale, obviously due to the fact that City Skylines doesn't allow for huge cities and huge airports to coexist, and that's simply just due to the map size. It's either you get a huge airport or you get a huge city. You can't really have both together and have them look good in these maps, but I'm building a decently sized airport here. It basically captures the essence of Phoenix Sky Harbor, which is the airport here in Phoenix, obviously. And something that I wanted to achieve with this build is something that a lot of other YouTubers tend to not nail as good. I mean, I didn't nail this amazingly either. These roads don't look the best, but something that the way airports work is they basically have departures and arrivals separated on 2 different levels, and the way that this game works, you can't really achieve that without having one of the set of roads be just purely decorational and having very few, if any, cars on it. So how I decided to tackle that problem, because I obviously wanted cars traveling on both of the levels, is on one side of the airport, I made the lower level be the entrance and exit to the airport, and on the other side of the airport, I made the higher level be the other entrance and exit. So basically, if cars want to exit either way, they'd have to get onto the other level. I'd like to comment about this new microphone that I got, because my original microphone was basically just my headset mic, and while it didn't sound terrible, it definitely couldn't handle like higher or louder voice volumes, I guess. I don't know many technical terms, so I'm just gonna call it that. I basically couldn't talk very loud, and basically that meant that I had to speak in an insanely monotone voice, which I'm probably still gonna be speaking like that, and that's just the way I am, but I was actually kind of forced to do that more seriously with that microphone, just because if I talked any louder, it would just peak and sound terrible. I don't know why it does that, because literally when I use it for anything else, it sounds fine, but for some reason it just doesn't like Audacity. But anyways, onto the build itself. I hope my audio sounds better. What I'm building right now is basically the entrance to the airport, which is kind of a weird one because the way that this airport is designed is, I don't know why, but like the side of the traffic where it flows, like it just shifts for some reason. I don't know what design feature or choice that was, but instead of driving on the right like you normally do in the US, you're suddenly driving on the left because the roads just overlap and change sides for some reason. So that's basically something I wanted to recreate here, and the way I ended up doing that is basically just copying the exact, or almost the exact layout of Phoenix Sky Harbor. I mean, which is fine because I'm basically building Phoenix anyway, so that's another comment that I'd like to make, is I'm gonna try and make this as closely related to Phoenix Sky Harbor as I possibly can. It's definitely not gonna be an exact replica, but it's gonna have a lot of similarities to it, and yeah, it helps because I can basically just look at Google Earth and just copy and paste what I see. But yeah, we can basically see me building right now is the Terminal 2 parking lot, which I don't know if I want to keep this as a flat parking lot or as in like a parking garage, because the way it is in real life, it's a parking garage, but it's a really small it's a really small parking garage. Like, it's only one level, and I can't really find anything close to that on the Steam Workshop. I know there's this modular one that I kind of want to try out, but I haven't gotten around to actually trying it. But I might change it later on, but for right now, I think this works fine. And now I am trying to rebuild the highway infrastructure that I just demolished earlier on in the episode, and I'm going to try and take advantage of this opportunity to make it more friendly to the traffic, because while I do get a lot of incoming traffic from the outside world, basically most of the traffic is literally just heading up towards the city, like where these thicker freeways are. That's basically where most of the traffic is going. So I'm trying to accommodate for the traffic flow in this area by giving them a wider road to travel on. And it's really similar to an interchange here in Phoenix, actually, where the I-10 just curves instead of having like a normal four-way freeway interchange. Just curves along with it, and the other two freeways just merge onto it accordingly, because they have much less traffic, basically. I don't know if that's the reason why they did that. They maybe just decided to give the I-10 more priority and just have it not break up into a million pieces or something. I don't know. It's whatever. But this freeway exit is actually one I'm really quite proud of, because I was able to fit one of these freeway artworks that Phoenix has a lot of here. Here it is in this loop, where basically there's a lot of this, like, some sort of native artwork. I don't know, but it's something that I've been struggling to do in this series because it's something very unique to this city, and I just couldn't find a way to do it before. I tried using like Surface Painter to use it like the gravel texture to make these like snakes and stuff in my freeways, but I just ended up using these sidewalk paths, which ended up looking very close to what's actually there, honestly. So I was really quite proud of my accomplishment here in making this freeway art, which is quite amazing, honestly, because it just adds that much more detail and sense of uniqueness that just ties it even closer to my inspiration, which is Phoenix, Arizona. And yeah, this was quite an interesting interchange as well, because I was loosely trying to replicate this insane like spaghetti interchange on, I think, the east end of Phoenix Sky Harbor, which yeah, it was quite an interesting thing to build. But anyways, back to the airport. Also, if you don't like the little eyeballs that I put on that snake, don't worry, me either. I ended up removing them later on because it just looked kind of dumb. But what you see me building now is basically the main framework of the airport. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this is not at all going to be the detail episode. That's going to be episode 13, aka the next one, where I go ahead and detail the whole airport, or at least most of it. I haven't really finished or done it yet, but right now I'm literally just trying to make this a functional airport. Just getting the basic framework done and getting the basic layout done. It might change a little bit in the next episode. But yeah, one thing that I did end up deleting was the third runway. It should have been the smallest one, because Phoenix Sky Harbor does have 3 runways, but I was getting this weird issue. I don't know if the third runway was the cause of it, but airplanes just kept landing on the taxiways for some reason instead of the runways, and it wasn't even like the taxiways parallel to the runway. It was the taxiway bit that literally comes off the runway. Just that short little segment, and planes were just landing there for some reason, and I was like, what the heck is happening? So I had to just demolish half of the airport and just rebuild the taxiways and just with one runway to see if that fixed it, and surprisingly it did. So I don't know if that was the issue or not, or maybe just had the taxiways lined up weird, but that is the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this build. It is honestly one of my better creations in City Skylines as of yet. So I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.